So I'm from here, born and raised in Berea County in a small community called Viper. It's in the southern part of the county. So over my lifetime, there's been a lot of change in terms of work and economy and jobs and just like stories that we tell ourselves and the narrative that we're sharing as community. The industry in 2012 really went into collapse, and we lost 10,000 jobs, in a matter of years, which was just incredible. I think, previous to that moment, there wasn't a lot of thinking outside the box. There wasn't a lot of what do we do outside of the coal industry? How do we diversify this economy, and how do we build this community in a way that can support that economy?
I'd say in the early days of the consistent coal decline, there was a whole lot of people that moved away, there was a whole lot of jobs that went away, but that has stopped. Everyone kind of hit a point where they said, this is not the way forward. There's other ways forward, there's other things that we can be doing, and let's start really doing that. And in the last 10 years, the city of Hazard actually had an 18% population increase. So that's a huge thing to have happen for an area that has consistently, every single year, every single census had population decline since 1940. In the last 3 years, we have had 35 businesses open in our downtown, and our downtown area is maybe 2 miles long. And so that's a huge number of businesses to be opening in that space. We've seen that a lot of that has come actually out of a positive thing that came with COVID, and that's that a lot of people that had moved away for work realized that they could work anywhere.
My wife is from Hazard, and when we got together, we moved out of Kentucky and always wanted to find a way to move back. And in our previous position, that wasn't really something that could happen. When we were looking at how we were going to get back home and had the opportunity to do so, we noticed that the downtown scene didn't have a coffee shop, and so we decided that we wanted to provide that. The town seemed to be progressing, and we wanted to be a part of it.
We have kind of hit that point where we've said, enough is enough. We're taking back the power, the destiny of this region. We kind of let that be in the hands of, big market forces for a long time. But let's push back against that. And so we've seen a lot of improvements because of that.
People have to have houses to live in if we want people to work here. So if you're going to have a job, you got to have a place to live. That's the foundation of what a community is built on. We have to start with housing.
We really struggle in this area for workforce housing. We have a broken housing market, and so it actually costs more to build a house than it appraises for, and that basically means that nobody builds houses. The best way I can explain why affordable housing is critical is to borrow an example from Keith Ellison, who's a representative, and he talks about affordable housing being like a bowl. So you could make a cake without a bowl, right? I mean, you could get the ingredients, you could mix it on the counter, but it's gonna be messy, it's gonna be sloppy, it's gonna be really, really hard. And so just like you can make that cake without a bowl, folks can succeed in life, however we want to define that. That can happen without an affordable home, but man, it's really hard to make that cake without a bowl.
We're fortunate in Hazard and Berea County, and really in a lot of communities across our region, because we have such a strong network of housing organizations like Appalachia Service Project, like Housing Development Alliance, and they are dancing as fast as they can to build as many houses as they can, to bring as many houses as they can up to code, or make them safe, make them warm.
Right now we're in Gurney's Bend, which is a little subdivision that the Housing Development Alliance is putting up in the city limits of Hazard. And we worked with the city to acquire an old shopping center that was all run down and dilapidated, and the city acquired it with community development block grant funds, tore it down, and they developed the lots. They put in the sewer and the water and all that, and then they sold them to the Housing Development Alliance, and we are building 15 affordable houses, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, up to 4-bedroom, 2-bath, about a half dozen different designs to help very low and income people become homeowners.
A house is not just a house, it's a home. And when a family is worried about a leaky roof or a floor that might be falling in, a foundation that is not adequate, then there are psychological ramifications for that as well. It is more difficult to concentrate on other things, not to mention just the amount of money that it takes to fix a home. If ASP can come in and take care of that basic need, then that frees up some of that discretionary funds so that can be spent on other things that are needed for a family. The solution is already happening here in Appalachia. ASP is a piece of that broader solution, but there are community partners, individuals, whole communities that are committed to shaping the future that they want to see here in Appalachia, and we just see ourselves as being a small piece of that.
Yes, I had one question. Why don't people leave?
Well, I can ask myself, why do I keep coming back? You know, because I haven't lived properly in Appalachia, in Harlan County, since I was 20. I'm 76 now, okay? Why don't people leave? Home is where your heart is. That's why they stay. I think because while it sounds ultimately or rather corny and romantic, but yeah, no matter how far my feet have roamed, there's no place like home.